talk to you about panhandling and homelessness. On any given night, an estimated 672,000 people experience homelessness, meaning 22 out of every 10,000 people are homeless in America. 37% are family units, while 63% are individual adults. Homeless use panhandling as a means to survive, and in states such as Chicago, Illinois, Orlando, Florida, Santa Cruz, California, Atlanta, Georgia, and most recently Boston, Massachusetts, have either banned panhandling, made restrictions against it, or are in the process of enforcing these restrictions. But is making panhandling illegal really going to solve this problem? I will explain in further detail what a panhandler is, a few misconceptions people may have about panhandlers, and how we more effectively could solve this problem. A panhandler is a beggar who requests a donation in a supplicating manner. Some people see panhandling as a street corner entrepreneur because they do put in long hours standing in one place. Even in bad weather conditions, it's not completely effortless. I simply see it as easy money that individuals are begging for, most of who are non-willing to work. Some may be using this opportunity to overcome an obstacle or make a step forward, but many are continuing to panhandle day after day, taking for granted the kindness and merely preying on the community. I am slightly offended that some people are actually panhandling as a profession and making hundreds of dollars a day. I actually watched a show once that showed a man that had a house and a car, very successful looking man, and each morning he would get up and dress in raggedy clothes and stand on the side of the road, and he actually makes more than some professionals do here. I feel that by handing these people money is enabling them so that they are then not forced to work hard like many Americans who work hard for their money. Contributing causes to this trend include but are not limited to the unavailability of employment opportunities, poverty, lack of affordable health care, war, armed conflict, disability, substance abuse problems, affordable housing, as well as inmates being released from prison trying to make their re-entry into society. If we make panhandling illegal, we are criminalizing the homeless and less fortunate who otherwise may have no other means to survive. Even if they are just living off society, we have then only worsened the problem and not solved the issue. For those on the outside looking in, there are a lot of misconceptions about how these people got into the position of being homeless. One of the main misconceptions of panhandlers is they fall under a certain stereotype. Maybe as being an alcoholic, a drug addict, a criminal, a failure, or an overall bad person in society. This typically being untrue of most of the homeless population. A lot of them once lived prosperous and successful lives, possibly having families, attending school or college even. Some were at the top, but unfortunately, somewhere along the way made a poor, isolated choice, maybe to an addiction that got the best of them before they could clean themselves up, or a financial downturn such as divorce or bankruptcy. In noticing a panhandler on the corner, some automatically assume that he or she could be doing something else besides just that. Well, to just have a job won't get anyone off the streets, but obtaining a job that pays enough to afford and maintain housing as well as other living expenses is what's necessary. How can we expect this when some don't have resources like a daily shower, presentable clothing, reliable transportation, and other necessities? Being without these things makes it difficult to establish or maintain any type of meaningful employment. In my studies of this situation, I was able to interview a gentleman about what his current situation is and why he has resorted to panhandling. I began to ask where he came from, his previous jobs, if he had any children, and what his current housing situation was like. He said he was out of state from Tennessee but moved here to be with his fiance. They stay in a motel together with their 7- and 9-year-old children. When he told me that they had children, it broke my heart to know that these kids have to see their parents struggle like this. When he moved to Boise, he obtained a job in construction, something that he's been doing for 13 years. They had a house and things seemed to be going well, but after a while he got laid off and resorted to temporary work. to obtain money for bills, but this still wasn't quite enough. He started panhandling to make up the portion of the rent he was missing, and when his landlord found out about this, he evicted them. I then discussed the option of low-income housing with him, and he was denied because he had bad credit. With the high expectation that the welfare system has set to receive any type of welfare, how do they expect these people to make it if they are already doing the best they can with the resources that they have? So how can we effectively start coming together as a community to give them support, encouragement, and a few resources, and possibly even job opportunities that could help society, not only help society, but help the panhandler? As of right now, there are a few shelters here in Boise. There are not enough to provide all these people with a place to sleep at night. We need to build more shelters. In the early morning, there are job opportunities through labor halls where they can go for temporary to hire jobs, but nothing is guaranteed more than day by day. Places like Gem State Staffing and Labor Ready are a couple of temporary agencies, and there are only a few others. These jobs are mostly given on a first-come, first-served basis, and the only other available jobs are given to those who qualify. Thus, many of these people will not get work, which puts them right back on the corner of their choice, panhandling. Instead of making it illegal to be homeless, they should set aside funds to help solve these type of issues. We could possibly work together towards things like creating labor housing projects that offer work programs such as removing graffiti, litter collection, public transit shelter cleanup, and other general labor things that better our society and communities. By sticking behind such thing as the 10-year program, or the 10-year plan, whose goal is to end homelessness through housing first, and supporting organizations like the Salvation Army that assist the homeless population in relocation, rehabilitation, and treatment, making sure that the funding that goes out to these people is going to the right source, so when they need it, it is easily accessible but regulated in some manner, can make a huge impact on getting these people into permanent housing of some sort, and it would give them a chance to redeem themselves and head back into a life they once had, or possibly the life they were never given a chance to have, being a victim of circumstance. So what we need to do is contact our state legislators and ask them to support funding for more shelters, as well as developing these work projects. We also need to come together as a community and provide donations and support for such projects. These things need to happen to cure the problem of panhandling.
Sure. Sorry about that, Nolan. Nolan, Spencer, Josh, how we doing? It's after 9. You guys haven't clubbed me yet? All right, so. All right, are we that? I mean, I can stay, but I mean, are we that? Oh, that's right. We can go till 9:45, right? Yep. All right, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Okay. Because how many? Your question is right. 1, 2, 3. 6. We have 6. We can do it. That's not good. But